So this batch is basically the recipe I make down at the soap room, except for it's half goat milk, half water. And I'm doing this so I can test the method that the owners of Twyst Tie Farm were telling me about at the Baker Creek Festival, called a heat transfer method, which is where you make a 50-50 lye solution with the lye and the water, and then you pour that solution directly into the unheated solid oils to melt them. And then you add the goat milk and the liquid oils after that. I had actually never heard of this method before, and I have several books on the topic and read a whole bunch of soaping forums and everything, and this was totally new to me, so I have to give it a try. So I decided to mix it by hand for a while because I wanted to make sure I had enough liquid in the bottom of it to be able to use the stick blender without getting any splash, because you need to be very careful about not splashing yourself with lye, because lye is very caustic, and this would be a very kind of lye heavy liquid here. Very caustic. In other words, it burns even if it's not hot. So then I use the stick blender to sort of help chop up the remaining chunks of the palm kernel oil so that it would just, move along quicker. I was really surprised that the pan didn't get really hot. Like, I expected this to be a very cold method, but the outside of the pan, I had like absolutely no troubles like touching it. It was like barely even warm the entire time. And it's kind of almost like starting to saponify here because we've mixed the lye with the fats. So I figured at this point, now that it's all smooth, I would add the goat milk and the liquid oil so that they could properly saponify too. And I was pretty surprised. It took about 3 minutes for the first stage of mixing, and then after I added the goat milk and the liquid oils, it was only like another 3.5 minutes or so before it was at a light trace. I think it's partially because of the palm kernel oil and how quickly it reaches trace, and partially because the stick blenders help it reach trace faster because they're breaking up all the molecules and making it smaller so that it's easier to bond with each other. But I used to think it was all heat, but based off of how cool this is, I would say it's not all heat. And if you guys haven't heard of Twyst Tie Farm before, you should really check out their website and their social media and Facebook and everything. They do a lot of like festivals and markets and stuff, and you can meet them in person. They're awesome, and they make wonderful lotions and salves and lip balms. It's great. And soaps. And now I know how their goat milk soaps are so white. I mean, look at that. I've always thought that the goat milk always makes the soap not white, but apparently they said it was because we're scorching the milk. You know how it's normally really like curdled and orange? When you do it this way, the milk doesn't get scorched, and you get like what looks like it's going to be like almost pure white bar. Because like I said, I didn't think that was possible with goat milk soap. So I'm just going to pour it into the mold at a light trace, and I guess we'll see how it turns out in the next video, because like so far it looks great. Looks perfect. And I actually made the batch a little too big. I used the wrong recipe. I used one that I had almost sized down right. But anyway, it gives me some extra to put in some Tupperware to play with later. Well, I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe. And tune in for part 2 in a day or so.